What is going on, guys? I am currently heavily caffeinated and on a productivity stint, and it's been a while, about a year, since I made a photo editing tutorial, so that's what I'm going to do.
So pardon my manners, just something about you turns me to a savage.
Yeah, but for real, it's been like a year and a half, probably more, since I've done any sort of editing tutorial. And I have since changed my methods a little bit, just making the whole editing process easier and more effective, so I figured there might be some people interested in photography amongst the small group of people who have me on their post notifications, so I shall spew some of my knowledge. So firstly, the program of my choice is Corel PaintShop Pro 2018, and honestly, I much prefer this over any Adobe program. I've used both, I've compared both, I just like this program better. But the majority of you watching probably are using some sort of Adobe program, and it should have all of the same settings for adjustments. They're probably not going to be in the same place, but I'm pretty sure it has it. It should have it anyway. So we have a couple different examples of pictures that we're going to be using today, but firstly we are going to be focusing on my friend's Fiesta ST. So to start, by no means is this a bad photo. I'm not trying to toot my own horn here or anything, but it's not a bad photo. The car is a very nice shade of blue. The grass is very green in the background because this was taken towards the end of the summer, back when Pennsylvania actually looked like it had life in it. But the colors in the shading is a little bit vague. You might only notice this if you have a very keen eye for imagery, I guess. But the colors aren't really as popping out as much as they could be. Like, nothing is really popping out in this photo, and that's what I'm going to be improving on. You might notice too that there's a bit of a pale, like, white tint over the photo, and as far as I know, there's really nothing I could have done with my camera to avoid this tint. I mean, there might have been something I could have done. I don't know absolutely everything about photography. Now to start, I'm going to go to Adjust, Brightness and Contrast, and we're going to go to the Levels adjustment. So what the levels adjustment literally is, it's just brightness, contrast, and gamma control all in one place, and I find it to be more effective than the standard brightness and contrast tool. So using this just makes my life easier when editing photos, especially when binge editing photos. So to start, I will go to the contrast slider, which is the one on the far left, and we'll start with 15. That's usually the number I start with. I usually either just go up or down from there, depending on what happens when I do it. So I'll put that in there, and I'll click the preview image box, and you should see a pretty significant change there. And the color, it has more depth to it, the shadows have more depth to it, and overall it just looks like it improved the image quality, to me anyway. So if you want to go a little bit further, you have your brightness and gamma control sliders. Gamma is the one on the far right, and the brightness is the one in the middle. So with the gamma control, you'll notice that it doesn't really brighten the image entirely. It more just gives it some highlights, and the regular brightness slider, that's the one that will just overall brighten the image. So again, I'll go back and forth just so you can see the difference. So that's my first step. Actually, it's a little bit too much gamma. I'm gonna go down there a little bit. Yeah, it's better. Alright, so we're done with that. I'm gonna go back to Adjust, back to Brighten and Contrast, and Fill Light / Clarity. So the Fill Light / Clarity tool literally is what it sounds like. The Fill Light section of the tool just gives some more light to darken areas of the image, and the Clarity tool just kind of makes it sharper, I guess, kind of, I don't know, makes lines and stuff pop more. I don't know, I'll just show you. This is why I'm not going to be a college professor. So, hitting the preview image checkbox, you should see some difference there of the lines in the car getting a little bit more sharper. Actually, I'll go up to 30. Yeah, so in my eyes, that makes it look way better. The mesh grill here is actually a little bit dark, so what I would do is just go to Fill Light, go up to 5. Actually, let's do 10. And you see that it filled up a little bit. Not that much. Yeah, again, I'll go back and forth between two images. Well, not two images, two adjustments. And you should see that this one just looks much clearer, much sharper than the original. Alright, moving on. So, we're actually just about done. I only have a couple more steps left that I would normally do on any photo of a car that I would take. So, we're going to go back to adjust, back to brightness and contrast. Pretty much everything you need is in this little box right here, except for one tool, but we'll get to that in a few seconds. I would go to HMS, highlight, midtone, shadow. So the HMS tool is just another brightness and contrast tool, except it focuses more on specific areas of the image, like the shadow and highlights and stuff like that, more than just doing a blanket adjustment. It's more of a specific adjustment. So I already have settings plugged in here that I would normally do, or try anyway, so I'm going to hit preview image. And nothing too evasive, just gives it a little bit more shadow depth. And the highlight, will just make it a little bit brighter. Very subtle. This is a very subtle tool. Like, you need to do a lot of adjustments with this tool to actually get a significant difference. But I think we're good without the highlights. Again, I'm just going to go back and forth. Alright, and that's that. So, last thing we're going to do for this photo anyway is go to hue and saturation and go to vibrancy. So with vibrancy, specifically for blue cars, you need to be very conservative with your adjustments, because if you go too far with it, just a little bit much. So let's go to 10 and see what that does. Yeah, just right. Not too much, not too little. This blue is a very vibrant color, so if you just overexpose the vibrancy, it's gonna look like it's literally glowing, and you don't want that in the photo. Well, you might want that, I don't know what you're into. I'll just flash the before and after images on the screen. So I have the other pictures here just because I want to show you what these adjustments would do in a different scenario, different lighting, different time of day, crap like that. Except for the one in the end. There is one more thing I want to show you with this one, but we'll get to that in a minute. So, with this FRS, same thing. Brightness, contrast, levels. I'm gonna make it a little bit brighter because that wheel's not really popping that much. Again, same thing. Just the gamma. Same basic thing, just different car, different time of day. Only issue I have here is the tire becomes a little bit overshadowed. But I'll fix that. Fill light clarity. All the same basic adjustments, and do a little bit of vibrancy. Again, I'll just flash them before and after. Well, for whatever reason, my computer decided to crash. However, I was able to recover all my files. Well, that's a good thing. I bought this program and it saves everything, so in case you crash, everything is still there. Anyway, moving on to this BMW 5 Series, and by the way, this is one of my favorite BMWs at first class fitment. This thing is all caps clean. But, anyway, same adjustments. fine. I'm gonna up the highlight a little bit, maybe just give the grill some more pop. Yeah, that's fine. Vibrancy. Alright, again, before and after, put it on the screen. Okay, I'm clearly overloading my computer's RAM, so I gotta finish this up. I don't have the most powerful laptop in the world, but it does the job. So, last thing I want to show you is histogram adjustment, and it's yet another brightness and contrast adjustment, but it's more so exposure based than, I don't know, clarity based or whatever that crap I explained earlier was. So we're gonna go back to brightness and contrast, histogram adjustment, and nope. We have the low and the gamma. We're not gonna be messing with the high right now. Really no reason for it. So what this will do is just kind of give the car's angles a little bit more depth and kind of like give off more so of a shadowy effect. So I have the low 110, that's a little bit too dark, so I'm going to go to the gamma, go up by 1, and that looks pretty good. Now I really like the way this looks, but when I was editing these photos I was kind of going back and forth between like these two settings, and I couldn't decide which one I like better. So I'll just leave that at that, and maybe you can tell me which one you like better. Alright, so my laptop has crashed twice, and it's about to die, so I think I'm going to wrap up this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope my horrible explanations maybe helped you learn something. Probably not, but maybe you got some entertainment out of it. I've probably explained this before, my upload schedule is a little bit wonky right now. Kind of just making videos whenever I have time or whenever I have the motivation. So, hopefully soon I'll be able to get my upload schedule back in order, which was originally Friday and Sunday. But, you know, life, shit happens. But definitely let me know if you guys want to see more videos like this, because photography is one of my passions. And also, these levels, like these adjustments and all that stuff, it doesn't apply just to cars, it applies to really any form of photography. So, car person or not, you can maybe benefit from me explaining this to you. Probably not. Anyway, follow me on Instagram, stuff like that. I post photos on there pretty much every day. Facebook, all that plug crap. And please turn on post notifications, because if you don't, you will not be notified when I upload a video. I've seen this firsthand. It's terrible. Please hit the bell. Alright, I hope you guys have an awesome day, and I will see you guys in the next video.